are an OH2, this video is for you. I talked about how to be a dominant OH1 in my previous video, all about Cooper Robinson. In this one, it's all about the OH2s, how to be super effective at the position, how to stand out as a undersized, smaller outside hitter. I'm gonna do a case study on JP Avila, CSUN's very own OH2, plus some bonus content from CSUN's coach, Theo Edwards, on what separated JP from other outsides, what made him a recruitable athlete, and everything else you need to know. So let's dive right into it. What are the keys to being a great OH2? Well, first, let's kind of delineate what a great OH1 is. Recapping from my prior video about Cooper Robinson, those keys were about a strong serve, physical player, go-to guy in rotation one, able to hit right side and outside, and the ability to crush the bic. If you can do all those things and you're already on the court, you're likely going to be the OH1 between the two outside hitters. Now, that's our OH1 category. The ball shifts a little bit when we talk about our OH2s. Generally, less of a physical player, more crafty, finds ways to tool the block a little bit more. Just looking at the difference between an OH1 and an OH2, you can generally tell from size, height, physicality in general. The best and most important part is to be an absolute stud in serve receive. You want to find yourself on the court as a smaller, undersized hitter. You have to be the best passer you can possibly be. Basically, you want to be just another Libero out there on the court when it comes to serve receive. You want to be a guy that can be trusted, that the other team doesn't want to serve you because you're so strong out there and receive. Your attacking percentage has to be really good because your leash when it comes to attacking is generally a lot shorter from the physical OH1s and the higher pins who go for more big time plays. So you gotta be smart when attacking. Your shot selection, like I mentioned, generally looks a little different on the OH2 side, more crafty plays, some more recycle into your game, and just finding different ways to score instead of hitting over the top or using physicality most of the time. And lastly, as an OH2, you have to be able to score on the one-on-ones. Like every pin position, if you wanna start at that spot, you can't just be a good passer and you can't just be a ball control guy. You have to find ways to score when you get those one-on-one opportunities. If you're going against a double block, that's different, but one-on-one, you got to find ways to score. So I'm going to talk about JP Avila, CSUN's OH2 last season as a freshman, contributed at a really high level. And we have some questions that I sent to Coach Theo Edwards that he responded to provide some insight on who he was as a player and what his impact was to CSUN. First question was, what makes JP special on the court? With a deep and talented roster like CSUN has, what did C do so well to earn him that starting role as a freshman? This is what he said. JP brings a unique blend of consistency, intelligence, and competitiveness to the court. On a roster full of talent, what separates him is his ability to make winning plays in the big moments, whether that's a key side out, a smart shot down the line, or a perfectly placed serve. He reads the game at a high level, which allows him to anticipate and adapt quickly. Although he was a freshman, JP's work ethic and team-first mentality earned him the trust of his teammates and the coaching staff. That embodies everything of what I believe a great OH2 has. It's the work ethic to put in the work, to be ready to play at the highest level, right when you step in the building as a freshman. The fearlessness in big moments. When you're not the biggest guy on the court, JP sits at around 6 foot. Being able to just rip away and be confident in your shots is a must. So, next question was asking about during the recruiting process. As an undersized outside hitter, I asked Coach Edwards what stood out about JP and if he was recruited as a libero or an outside, or if he transitioned from one position to the other. The coach said, from the beginning, JP stood out on the court for his awareness and maturity. He wasn't the tallest player, obviously, but he was always the most reliable. He came through in tough matches and made others around him better. Although he would make a great libero, and we originally recruited him for his ball control and defensive instincts, his coachability and growth over the last year, along with his all-around skill set, made it clear that outside hitter was his position. Really cool piece of that. Like, you might not be recruited as the position that you want to play. He said he was recruited for his ball control and defensive instincts, and that's why it's so important to have that ball control and that serve receive ability as one of my top keys for OH2s. Because if you have that and a coach ends up trusting you, they might slide you into that outside slot because of how good you are on the court in ball control and serve receive. So don't ever give up on trying to play a position you want to play, because there are coaches out there that are willing to commit to a player that just loves the game, has really good instincts, and finds their way onto the court just by willing themselves to that position. My last question from Coach Edwards is basically just his thoughts on JP and what makes him a special player in general, or any additional thoughts he has from coaching him this past season. And he said JP is the kind of player every coach wants in their gym. He leads by example, holds himself to a high standard, and embraces the grind, whether it's in practice or competition. He shows up with purpose. He's also one of the most coachable athletes I've worked with, always seeking feedback and looking to elevate his game. His impact goes far beyond the box score. And that's really the beauty of the OH2 position. Going beyond the box score, doing the little things, the coverage, the second hands, finding ways to score creatively or extend rallies that you might not see in the 10+ kill column, but it goes a long way in playing winning volleyball. When you have a coach like Theo Edwards who knows a lot about winning volleyball, it's cool to see a guy like JP get a lot of playing time in his program. Couple pieces of film here on JP, just further exemplifying back to the keys that I talked about in the beginning on why he's such a great player. This one here in a match against Long Beach, which was a tough match for the Matadors. You have a serve here coming in from Monia Nikolov at the 60+ mile per hour range. And JP, although you barely see this clip here, dots this pass, really in a good spot for Constable to set it. The ability to serve receive against tough servers will find you on the court. Doesn't matter how high of an athlete you are, how high you jump, if you can serve receive against the highest level of servers, which Monia Nikolov, a guy with 112 aces last year, was definitely that cat, you're in good shape. As you get a dig from CSUN here, and an out of system ball from Constable, super high and tight, which is really the method now that teams are going to, an out of system. You can see Abala comes in feet really close to the net and jumps high to this ball, and what does he do? Throws it right into the hands to recycle back and get a better option for his team. This is a massive skill that you need to be able to possess as an OH2 and a smaller outside hitter. Bringing the ball back, especially in out of system, recycle and get a better attack on the ball. Really good play here and really good job of keeping this play alive for CSUN. And I talked a little bit about shot selection. I talked a little bit about being able to win the one-on-ones, but at the highest level of D1, you got to find ways to score against forehands and six hands as well. And you can see in this play against George Mason, pretty good serve coming in and slightly out of system, which gets 3 blocks up for Mason, but Avila finds a way to punch this ball down the line outside the outside hand of the block and score. If you want to find court time, you can't just pass, you can't just recycle, you have to score points and trust in your ability to put the ball away when you're counted on and called upon. So Abala was a great guy this year of doing all those things. Serve receive at a massively high level, shot selection really smart with recycle, tooling, cutting the ball, and then pulling the trigger and showing what kind of a strong attacker he is as well in certain moments. If you're an OH2, you're a smaller outside hitter, really nailing that serve receive. It's gonna get you on the court. It's gonna get you noticed by coaches like Coach Edwards. That's how he noticed JP in the beginning, was his defensive ability. And then from there, build out your vertical and just become more accustomed to a little bit more creative shot selection. OH2s are a special part of the game of volleyball. Some coaches believe that you can get away with 2 physical pins, more OH1 style. I'm a type of coach that thinks ball control and passing wins games. For the purposes of this video, the message remains true. Serve receive is huge, shot selection separates you, and scoring in the one-on-ones is gonna keep you on the court. So I'll be watching JP Avila a lot this season, seeing how he develops from year 1 to year 2, and hopefully you can watch a player like him as well and take some things away if you're in that undersized hitter category as well. That's all I got in this one. Thanks for tuning in as always, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.